The World Cup is over. Spain are world champions for only the second time in the history. First was 2010 when Iniesta scored an extra time to beat the Netherlands 1-0. 16 years later, Ferran Torres scored an extra time to beat Argentina 1-0. Same scoreline, same length, a Spanish story that finally has a sequel. The match itself was a lot. Argentina came in as reigning champions, chasing history. No country had repeated as World Cup champions since Brazil in '62, and Argentina were 90 minutes away from being the team to break that streak. And for 90 minutes plus extra time, they held Spain to a 0-0 draw. Martinez, gotta say it, the goalie, was extraordinary. 11 interventions, including saves from Yamal, Laporte, and multiple others. Then, in stoppage time of the second half, Enzo Fernández got a second yellow card for reckless late challenge on Cubarsí, which was really not smart, if you're honest. Like that foul was so unnecessary, but more on that later. Argentina go down to 10, extra time starts, 60 minutes into the extra time. Ferran Torres subbed on at the 62th for Oyarzabal, arrives at the back post as you've seen it. Nico Williams heads a Porro cross back across the 6-yard box. Torres finishes from close range 1-0. Spain hold on. Argentina finishes the match without a single shot on target. Full-time Ferran Torres quote, "The goal belonged to 47 million people. It wasn't just mine or the 26 players." Spain are world champions. Rodri gets the golden ball. Unai Simón gets the golden glove. Pau Cubarsí, 18 years old, gets the young player award. Spain has now conceded 1 goal in 8 matches at this tournament. 1. That's the fewest ever by a World Cup winner. And they played more matches than any previous winner because of the new 48-team format. The story of this tournament in one number. 1 goal conceded. Everything else follows from that. We also have Kylian Mbappé winning the Golden Boot with 10 goals. His brace in France's 6-4 loss to England in the third place playoff valued him above Messi's 8, I think. I forgot to note it down, but I think Messi has 8, Mbappé has 10. Messi's final World Cup ends without the repeat. Ronaldo's already gone. Kane still doesn't have a trophy. And England finished third for the first time since 1966 in what may be the maddest third place playoff ever played. A 6-4 win with 10 goals, hat-trick from Saka, Michael Olise passing Pelé for the all-time World Cup assists. Mad. Plus, the transfer window is going wild. Mourinho is back at Real. Bayern have bought 2 players from both sides of the Germany. Yeah, I was about to say from both sides of the pond, but let's not use those references anymore. We have enough pond and America references now. They bought 2 players, and I will go into detail in a little bit. About those 2 new players. Barcelona has signed Anthony Gordon. That's all in next week's episode, but we'll do a proper preview then. But I'll tease a little bit at the end. I'm Sasha, 20 years coaching Team Sport. This is Tactic, the show where we watch sport the way a coach watches it, and this is the World Cup wrap. Let's go. Let's start with segment 1, the final. Spain won, Argentina 0. What happened? MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Americans might think that sounds cool. Everybody else in the world really hated that venue. Referee was Slavko Vintage from Slovenia. Spain started with the exact same 11. They had beaten France 2-0 in the semi-final and Belgium 2-1 in the quarterfinal. Luis de la Fuente, 65 years old by the way, now the oldest coach ever to win a World Cup, didn't deviate. Lionel Scaloni made 3 changes for Argentina, bringing on Rodrigo de Paul into central midfield, Gonzalo Montiel right back, and Nico Gonzalez on the left flank, who, by the way, did a great job for me in Football Manager 26. The opening 10 minutes were kind of hot. Yamal, as you know, 19 years, coming off his birthday during the semi-final win over France, created early, shot denied, Spain settled in. Then the possession game started. Spain kept the ball, Argentina defended, and this is where Martinez became the story. Every save Spain needed to score, he made. Yamal scoring free kick, saved. Laporte's close range header at the 81st, I think, saved. Multiple crosses that Spain got onto, cleared, caught, punched away. Martinez was honestly one of the best goalkeepers in the World Cup final in the past, I don't know, 30 years. The 11 interventions, pretty cool. At full time, Argentina had not registered a single shot on target. Spain had 65% possession, 16 shots to Argentina's 3, and scoreless scoreboard. Then we see the Enzo Fernández red card. 82nd minute, Fernandez got a first yellow card. His teammates are arguing over a foul call. Rodri had been involved in the challenge. Argentina thought there should have been called against him, but the referee saw differently. Fernandez dissented and booked. 11 minutes later, in the 93rd minute, third minute of stoppage time, Cubarsí was clearing a ball back toward the Argentine goal. Fernandez charged in, connected with Cubarsí. Cubarsí went flipping through the air. Vintage referee, no hesitation, reached for his back pocket. Second yellow, red card. Argentina go to 10 men. Coach's eye on this? This is the kind of red card that shows up in the analysis of every Argentine loss for the next 4 years. Cubarsí was clearing the ball back into his own half. There was no goal scoring threat. There was no tactical reason to charge in that hard. That's discipline failure. A player who let frustration override his tactical brief in the biggest match of his life. And then we come to the Ferran Torres winner. In the extra time, Argentina down to 10. Spain still can't score for the first 15 minutes of extra time. Then, first minute of the second period of extra time, 106th minute, Pedro Porro crosses from the right. Nico Williams gets his head to it at the near post and knocks it back across the 6-yard box. Ferran Torres, subbed in as mentioned on the 62nd minute for Oyarzabal, arrives at the far post. Strike from close range. Martinez helpless for the first time all night. 1-0 Spain. Argentina had 15 minutes to equalize. They couldn't. Spain closed the game out. Spain are champions. Some Torres details worth noticing, I think. This was his third career World Cup goal and his first since scoring twice against Costa Rica in 2022. His late strike also made him only the second substitute in history to score a game-winning goal in a World Cup final, the other being, you know it, Mario Götze in 2014, who did the same thing for Germany against Argentina in that final. So the Argentina loses final to a sub at extra time template is now the second time it has happened to Argentina specifically. Torres had a second goal disallowed for offside at the 114th minute, which would have made it 2-0 and closed the match out earlier, but 1-0 was enough. My quick coach's eye on the coach, on Luis de la Fuente, because I want to quickly pause on this for a bit, because he's 65, oldest coach to ever win a World Cup, and he took over Spain in December 2022 after the Luis Enrique era ended. He was widely mocked at the time. 3 years later, he has won a European Championship, Euro 24, and a World Cup back-to-back with the same core group of players in a country whose senior team hadn't won either of those trophies since, well, 2012. That's a coach's eye story. The unassuming coach who systematically builds a defense, systematically trusts his players, systematically wins tournaments. Spain in this tournament conceded 1 goal in 8 matches. That's the fewest ever by a World Cup champion. And it happened despite Spain playing more matches than any previous champion because of the new 48-team format. Anyone who tells you that De La Fuente is a caretaker manager after this has not been paying attention. And here are the stats, okay? Spain 7 clean sheets in the tournament, record for a single World Cup. Spain 1 goal conceded in the whole tournament, fewest by any champion. 8 matches played, most by any champion, of course, new 48-team format. Reigning European champion who won the World Cup, third team to ever achieve this. Spain 2008-2010, Germany 1972-1974. Argentina, 4 yellow cards in the final to Spain's 0. Argentina now hold the record for most red cards in World Cup finals. Look, what a surprise. Argentina equal record for the most World Cup final losses at 4, 1930, 90, 2014, 2026. 2 out of those 4 to Germany, by the way. Messi's World Cup career ends probably 8 goals, 4 assists in this tournament. 1 title the last time, played 4 tournaments overall. Argentina came in defending a title. They leave with a red card record. Now let me talk about how Argentina actually played this tournament, because now that it's over and we can see the whole picture, the story is different from what the press has been saying, okay? So the coach's eye, Argentina, that was very German, Argentina who were Paraguay with Messi, basically. Because that's my honest read on that. And I've been holding this back because I wanted to see how the final plays out. Argentina played ugly football at this World Cup. Not just physical, but they played ugly. The whole tournament template was sit deeper than you should, defend with numbers, Foul literally at the halfway line, wait for Messi moment. And so and you can look at the results, right? Capo Verde 3-2 in the round of 32, won in the 111th minute due to an own goal of a deflected Romero header. Argentina were outplayed by 600,000 people for stretches of the match. Messi had one moment. Egypt 3-2 again, round of 16, down 2-0 with 12 minutes to play. Egypt had another goal disallowed. Argentina came back through late Messi moments. Not tactical control, not dominant play, late Messi moments. Switzerland 3-1 in the quarterfinal, extra time. Yeah, Alvarez Golazo, sure. 10-man Switzerland at the end, not a dominant win. England 2-1 in the semi, down 1-0 with 5 minutes left. Messi assists twice in the final 10 minutes. Spain now, 0 shots on target. Martinez holds them in for 105 minutes. Yeah, and Fernandez gets sent off. That's the tournament. And here's the pattern no one's really naming. Argentina's brilliance was entirely Messi. Their game plan was survive and hope Messi does something. Their physicality wasn't the strategic aggression of a great pressing team. It was the fouling, kicking, gamesmanship of a team that knew it couldn't outplay its opponents and was trying to slow the game down. I want to be really direct about this, right? Argentina were Paraguay with Messi. The team that eliminated Germany played the exact same football. Sit deep, foul, frustrate, wait for a set piece or a mistake. Only difference between Argentina's tournament and Paraguay's tournament is that Argentina had the greatest player in football history to bail them out 3 times in a row. The final proved this when Argentina had to actually play football against Spain, a team that will not be intimidated, that had better ball attention than anyone, that has a goalkeeper who could match Martinez and others. Argentina had nothing, 0 shots on target. The plan was to defend and hope Messi got a chance, and he never did. Then Enzo Fernández's frustration became discipline failure, and that was that. The 4 yellow cards for Argentina in the final compared to 0 for Spain is not a coincidence, and there should have been way more. That's the referee finally calling the game the way it should have been called. It should have been called much harsher. Argentina got away with a lot of the fouling and gamesmanship in earlier rounds and even in the final, because, back then the matches were maybe tighter and the fouls were more incidental. But in the final against the team that just kept the ball and made Argentina chase, the fouls came constantly. And then they went yellow, 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 red. Scaloni built a team that won 2022 with Messi in his prime playing beautifully. This Argentina now is a different team, an older team with a slower Messi that has to replace its beautiful football with brutal football and hope nobody would notice. But the football world noticed. Okay, but from the ugly to the beautiful chaos, okay? Because the third place playoff was the maddest single football match of the tournament. And England 6, France 4. 6-4. Yeah, Miami Gardens, and let me quickly lay out how this happened. Deschamps admitted before the match publicly, quote, "We didn't want to play this match." Same energy from the English side. Tuchel rested Harry Kane, Bellingham, Pickford. Deschamps rested Mbappé to start but brought him in on later. Both teams treated the first half like a scrimmage. Then England scored. 3rd minute, Declan Rice. 18th minute, Konsa. 37th minute, Saka. 46th minute, 1st minute of the second half, Saka again, 4-0. England were 4-0 up in a 3rd place match that neither team wanted to play. Then France's second half, quadruple substitution brought on Mbappé, Digne, and Upamecano and Barcola, and France came back to life. 48th, Mbappé 4-1. 54th, Barcola 4-2. 66th, Mbappé 4-3. Now it was tight and France were dominating. 87th minute, England won a penalty. Saka took it, buried 5-3. Saka hat-trick. His second for England, by the way. 96th minute, stoppage at Dembele 5-4. France still knocking. 98th minute, Bellingham comes on as a sub, scores immediately 6-4. 10 goals, most in a World Cup match since 1982, where it was Hungary versus El Salvador, 10-1, most ever in a World Cup 3rd place playoff. The records here, let me share with you. Mbappé wins Golden Boot with 10 goals. His brace passed Messi's 8. Mbappé now has 22 career World Cup goals, moving him to 3rd all-time behind only Klose and Ronaldo. Wait, actually, Mbappé at 22 is above both of them. He's now leading active goal scorer at World Cup and he's only 27. Wow. Michael Olise with 2 assists in this match passed Pelé for all-time World Cup assists record with 7. Jude Bellingham finishes with 7 goals, the most by an England player at a single World Cup. Saka joins a very, very short list of players with 2 England hat-tricks. His first was against Panama in 2022, and English finished 3rd, their best World Cup finish since winning it in 1966. Tuchel's post-match quote, I hope that the players can be proud of that in some time. We are fiercely competitive, so we almost don't allow ourselves to be proud of third place because 18 months ago we set the highest goal. That's a coach saying this is a good result and we should be proud, but I'm not going to say we are proud because we should have won it. That's coaching. That's standard England should have, and Tuchel is establishing it publicly. England under Tuchel with Bellingham, Saka, Kane, Foden has closed the gap on the elite teams. They are one squad refresh and 2 years from being, I think, genuine title contenders. The Klopp versus Tuchel showdown at Euro 2028 in the UK and Ireland is going to be, if it happens, one of the great modern managerial rivalries. Both are German, both know each other's systems. And then you add Zinedine Zidane for France, it's gonna be cinema. Okay, but big picture takeaways. Yeah, almost the last segment for today's episode. What has this tournament actually taught us? One, the 48 team format worked. I said it earlier in the tournament, I said again, Cabo Verde, Curaçao, Norway, Morocco, Ivory Coast, all had their moments, all belonged. The tournament was bigger because they were there. It was not diluted, it was better. The extra round of 32 was the point of concern. It's surrounded at a time in matches without necessarily adding drama. But even that round produced the Cabo Verde Cameroon like match, if you know what I mean. Like back then in Cameroon was like a newcomer to the World Cup and surprised us all. Now Cabo Verde had such a feel to it, and they proved that they belonged. We had Curaçao actually playing wellish. We had better than we expected after the first game. We had Ecuador playing well. We had Germany, Paraguay, which we don't want to talk about anymore. Yeah, FIFA gets criticized for a lot, but they deserve credit for this format. However, they're already thinking about blowing it up to 64 teams, and that is just madness. Second takeaway, preparation beats talent. Spain won because they were the most prepared team. They were not the most talented. Yes, Yamal is great. He's 19. Rodri is a great midfielder, but not a Messi. Mbappé or Bellingham. Their team is not the most talented, but they're the most prepared, the most disciplined defensively, the most patient in possession, the most tactical, flexible when things went wrong. Mourinho subbing on to score against Portugal, against France, and staying on the pitch to lock down the final. Fantastic. Compared to Brazil, whose Ancelotti project fought against Brazilian instincts. Compared to Germany, whose Nagelsmann project fought against Germany's natural transitions. Compared to Argentina, who, as we just discussed, abandoned football for grinding. Here the coaches I take away, at the tournament level, preparation beats talent. Every time. This is why De La Fuente wins and Ancelotti and Nagelsmann don't. The mundane coach who prepares systematically will outperform the more famous coach who runs on charisma. Third takeaway, the penalties that held. Not a single penalty shootout in the semis or final, but the trend from earlier, the teams shooting first at this World Cup lost, never got tested at the top of the bracket. That's a coincidence, but the coaching lesson from earlier in the tournament still holds. If you're a national team coach, your captain should pick to shoot second if they win the coin toss. That data is real. 4. Individual awards make sense. Golden Boot, Mbappé, 10 goals. Golden Ball, Rodri, right choice, engine of Spain's midfield. Golden Glove, Unai Simón, 1 goal conceded. Sure. Young player, Cubarsí, 18 years old, defensively excellent through the tournament, and he's the guy Fernandez fouls to get sent off in the final. Poetic. Spain sweep all major individuals award except Golden Boot. That's the tournament's biggest single story after the actual result. Number 5, Ronaldo's career at the World Cup is done. He announced it. Portugal lost in round of 16. He goes home with 3 goals in the tournament and no World Cup title. Never won it. That's football. Kane is 32. He's played 4 World Cups. He has 7 tournament goals now. He's never won a trophy with England. He may just never. He has 1 more World Cup in him. And, I mean, the Euros in 2 years. Messi is 39. He played 5 World Cups. He has 1 title. This tournament might be, probably is, his last. He goes home with 8 goals and 4 assists in this tournament. One of the greatest individual runs by a player at his age, but no repeat. Brazil in 1962 still stands as the last repeat champions. Yeah, legends don't retire on their own terms, they retire on tournament results. Ronaldo's book closes with the whimper in the round of 16. Messi's closes with a 106-minute Ferran Torres shot. Kane still riding. Okay, one more thing. A teaser for next week because the transfer window is going wild while we've been watching the football. So, click 2 of the biggest confirmed moves. We'll do a proper breakdown next week, okay? Mourinho is back at Real Madrid for a second time. Already signed Konate, I think, Bernardo Silva, Dumfries, Cucurella, who has to shave his head. That's, I think, already 4 signings for Mourinho this summer just now. Yeah, so Real Madrid are building a Mourinho-shaped team around him. That's going to be either the most defensive Real Madrid team of the modern era or the most tactical, flexible one. We will see. Bayern Munich signed Nathaniel Brown from Frankfurt for 55 million and Ismail Saibari from PSV for 55 million. Um, German international, Moroccan international, who just played at the World Cup. Brown was Germany's left back. This time Sabari was injured at the end, I think. Now they'll be teammates, so let's see how that will work out. We have Anthony Gordon moving to Barcelona for 80 million. We have also Karim Adeyemi moving to Barcelona. No one in Germany understands that. We have Tonali, who is set to move from Newcastle to Tottenham. And we have Allegri, who is the new Napoli manager. We have Pep Linders, who is always my assistant manager on Football Manager 26. He's expected to join Klopp in Germany, which is interesting. And we have Mason Greenwood off to Fenerbahce. So there's lots of stuff happening already. The window officially opened June 15, closes September 1st. For the Premier League, there will be more chaos. I'm sure there will be surprises. Someone will spend 200 million on a player. Someone will fire the coach in the first month of the season. That's football. We'll do a proper breakdown next Monday this week. Enjoy the World Cup being over. Enjoy Spain being champions. Enjoy the fact that we can finally sleep on schedule. Alright, so quick wrap for this episode. Spain are world champions for the second time in their history. Ferran Torres scored the winner in the 106th minute after Enzo Fernández got sent off in stoppage time. Argentina go home without the repeat. They were Paraguay with Messi, and the football world noticed. Messi's career, the World Cup ends. Ronaldo's ended 2 weeks ago. Kane's still riding. Mbappé wins the Golden Boot. Spain conceded 1 goal in 8 matches, which is the tournament's real story. Big picture takeaway, preparation beats talent at the tournament level every time. De La Fuente, a coach who knows this. His 3-year Spain project has now delivered both continental championships and the World Cup. That's the modern gold standard. The 48-team format worked. The referee controversies were real but manageable. The penalties that held even if the final didn't test it. The favorites all made the semis. There were no fluke finalists. Not a conspiracy podcast. The window opens for football drama on a different kind starting today. Next episode, transfer window breakdown. Klopp's Germany project starts to take shape and the league starts ramping up for August kickoffs. See you then. If this was worth your time, subscribe. If it wasn't, also subscribe. Number helps. If anything was wrong, tell me. This has been the World Cup arc of tactic. 3 months. What feels like 3 months. Why do I say 3 months? It felt like 3 months. Weeks of coverage from the group stage to the final. Thanks for coming along. Tactic tired. Back next Monday. Thank you for listening.